If you struggle with shyness or social anxiety, check out our free No BS training course with actual useful advice you can do from home. None of that just get out there nonsense. The link is in the description below. For now, let's get to today's question.
Social anxiety disorder, social phobia, is the third largest mental health care problem in the world today. The latest government epidemiological data shows social anxiety affects about 7% of the population at any given time. The lifetime prevalence rate, i.e., the chances of developing social anxiety disorder at any time during the lifespan, stands slightly above 13%. See journal citation on the Social Anxiety Association homepage. Definition: social anxiety is the fear of social situations that involve interaction with other people. You could say social anxiety is the fear and anxiety of being negatively judged and evaluated by other people. It is a pervasive disorder and causes anxiety and fear in most all areas of a person's life. It is chronic because it does not go away on its own. Only direct cognitive behavioral therapy can change the brain and help people overcome social anxiety. Perceptions: people with social anxiety are many times seen by others as being shy, quiet, backward, withdrawn, inhibited, unfriendly, nervous, aloof, and disinterested. Paradoxically, people with social anxiety want to make friends, be included in groups, and be involved and engaged in social interactions, but having social anxiety prevents people from being able to do the things they want to do. Although people with social anxiety want to be friendly, open, and sociable, it is fear, anxiety, that holds them back. Triggering symptoms: people with social anxiety usually experience significant distress in the following situations: being introduced to other people, being teased or criticized, being the center of attention, being watched or observed while doing something, having to say something in a formal, public situation, meeting people in authority, important people/authority figures, feeling insecure and out of place in social situations, I don't know what to say, embarrassing easily, e.g., blushing, shaking, meeting other people's eyes, swallowing, writing, talking, making phone calls if in public. This list is not a complete list of symptoms. Other symptoms may be associated with social anxiety as well. Emotional symptoms: the feelings that accompany social anxiety include anxiety, high levels of fear, nervousness, automatic negative emotional cycles, racing heart, blushing, excessive sweating, dry throat and mouth, trembling, and muscle twitches. In severe situations, people can develop a dysmorphia concerning part of their body, usually the face, in which they perceive themselves irrationally and negatively. Constant, intense anxiety, fear, is the most common symptom. Insight: people with social anxiety typically know that their anxiety is irrational, is not based on fact, and does not make rational sense. Nevertheless, thoughts and feelings of anxiety persist and are chronic, i.e., show no signs of going away. Appropriate active, structured, cognitive behavioral therapy is the only solution to this problem. Decades of research have concluded that this type of therapy is the only way to change the neural pathways in the brain permanently. This means that a permanent change is possible for everyone. Seeking help: social anxiety, as well as the other anxiety disorders, can be successfully treated today. In seeking help for this problem, we recommend searching for a specialist, someone who understands this problem well and knows how to treat it. Social anxiety treatment must include an active behavioral therapy group, where members can work on their anxiety hierarchies in the group, and later, in real-life situations with other group members. Social anxiety is a fully treatable condition. Link is external, and can be overcome with effective therapy, work, and patience. Therapy, treatment. Cognitive behavioral therapy for social anxiety has been markedly successful. Thousands of research studies now indicate that, after the completion of social anxiety-specific CBT, people with social anxiety disorder are changed. They now live a life that is no longer controlled by fear and anxiety. Appropriate therapy is markedly successful in changing people's thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and behavior. The person with social anxiety disorder must be compliant and do what is necessary to overcome this disorder. National Institutes of Mental Health funded studies report a very high success rate using cognitive therapy with a behavioral therapy group. Both are essential to alleviating anxiety symptoms associated with social anxiety disorder. Medication. Social anxiety medication is useful for many, but not all, people with social anxiety disorder. For social anxiety, research indicates use of the anti-anxiety agents, and, Perhaps, certain antidepressants in conjunction with CBT have proven most beneficial. Medication without the use of active, structured cognitive behavioral therapy has no long-term benefits. Only CBT can change the neural pathway associations in the brain permanently. The therapy used must fit the way the human brain is structured. Current research indicates many antidepressant medications for social anxiety disorder to be useless. Even in the short term, about 15% of our in-person socially anxious people are helped by antidepressants. Some of the large-scale medication studies for social anxiety have been questioned and found to be skewed in favor of the drugs marketed by the same pharmaceutical companies who paid for these studies to be done in the first place. These kind of studies are conflicts of interest, and their conclusions should be thoroughly questioned. In addition, each person is different, and there is no general rule that works concerning social anxiety and medications. For a typical person with social anxiety, who has an average amount of anxiety, along the quantifiable continuum, we have found an anti-anxiety agent to be most effective. If the person has no history of substance abuse, antidepressants do not work anywhere near as well. In general, a typical superstition, promoted by the drug companies, is that antidepressants have anti-anxiety properties. This is not true. If anything, many of the antidepressants make a person more anxious. However, not all people want or need medication. One of the big changes in the last decade is the gradual non-use of medications by people coming into active therapy for social anxiety. The majority of people in our groups now choose not to use medications and to concentrate solely on CBT. Nevertheless, it is the combination of cognitive and behavioral therapy that changes the brain and allows you to overcome social anxiety. Medications can only temporarily change brain chemistry and can be useful in some cases. This is very general advice, and you must consult with your psychiatrist when it comes to medications. Try to find someone who understands that anti-anxiety agents are not addictive to people with diagnosable anxiety disorders. In 20 years, we have never had even one patient who has moved up their dosage of an anti-anxiety agent once an adequate baseline is established as being effective. Social anxiety people can be helped by a low dose of an anti-anxiety agents. There is a reason why we prefer a low dose of either lorazepam or clonazepam for this purpose.